Good evening. You're with us on DD India. Welcome to Express News. Over the next half an hour, we'll update you with the top 100 news of the day from across the country and the world in a quick, succinct manner. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let us start. Centre keeps the promise, tables the bill to repeal farm laws in Lok Sabha. The lower house of parliament passes the bill by voice vote. Both the houses of parliament face uproarious scenes as opposition protests force the chair to adjourn the House proceedings repeatedly. Centre questions the intention of the opposition party in creating ruckus. Farmers across the nation rejoice over the passing of the bill to repeal the farm laws by the Lok Sabha. Farmers thank the NDA government and Prime Minister Narendra Modi for bringing the bill to repeal the 3 farm laws. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar says that the centre has doubled the MSP that was offered by previous regime and that centre is now focusing on extending the benefits of MSP on crops other than wheat and paddy. On the first day of the winter session, the upper house suspends 12 of its members for the remaining part of the current section. Action taken for indiscipline in the monsoon session after the upper house witnessed ruckus on the last day of the last session. Suspension notice says that the house takes cognizance and strongly condemns the utter disregard of the authority of the chair, complete abuse of rules of the house and intentional attacks on security personnel. Out of the 12 MPs suspended, 6 are from Congress, 2 each from TMC and Shiv Sena, and 1 each from CPI and CPM. Suspended MPs are Priyanka Chaturvedi, Anil Desai, Elamaram Karim, Phulo Devi Netam, Chaya Verma, R. Bora, Rajamani Patel, Syed Nasir Hussain, Akhilesh Prasad Singh, Binoy Vishwam, Shanta Chetri, and Dona Sen. Earlier in the day, in his customary opening remarks ahead of the winter session of Parliament, Prime Minister Narendra Modi termed this session as an important one. He said that the country is celebrating Amrit Mahotsav and that the citizens of the country want a productive session. Prime Minister Modi also said that the government is ready to discuss all issues and answer all questions during this session. The Prime Minister called upon the opposition to debate in the Parliament but maintain the decorum of the proceedings. Union Health Ministry released findings of the National Health Accounts estimates for India for 2017-18. The National Health Accounts estimates show the growing trust in the public healthcare system of the country. The share of government health expenditure in total GDP increased from 1.15% in 2013-14 to 1.35% in 2017-18. The share of government health expenditure in total health expenditure also increased to 40.8% in 2017-18 from 28.6% in 2013-14. In per capita terms, expenditure increased from 1,042 rupees to 1,753 rupees between 2013-14 to 2017-18. The share of primary healthcare in current government health expenditure increased from 51.1% to 54.7%. India prepares for the challenge of the OMICRON variant of coronavirus. Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry has issued fresh guidelines for international arrivals. These will be valid with effect from 1st of December this year. Those planning for travel to India are required to submit self-declaration form on the online Air Suvidha portal before their scheduled travel. Visitors will also need to upload a negative COVID-19 RTPCR report conducted within 72 hours prior to undertaking the journey. Passengers originating from at-risk countries shall be informed by the airlines that they will undergo post-arrival testing, quarantine if tested negative, and stringent isolation protocols if tested positive. The list of countries from where travellers would need to follow additional measures on arrival in India with post-arrival testing include the UK, South Africa and Brazil. List of countries at risk also includes Bangladesh, Botswana, China, New Zealand, Zimbabwe, Singapore, Hong Kong and Israel. Travellers from the above-mentioned countries need to submit a sample for post-arrival COVID-19 test upon arrival. Such travellers will be required to wait for their test results at the arrival airport before leaving or taking a connecting flight. Those travellers who are tested positive, their samples should be sent for genomic testing at the INSA COG laboratory network. They will be managed at separate isolation facility and treated as per the laid down standard protocol. On to some business news now. The BSE SENSEX on Monday gained 153 points to end at 57,261. The NIFTY at the National Stock Exchange advanced 28 points to close at 17,054. The Indian rupee slumped 20 paise on Monday to close at 75 rupees 9 paise against the dollar. Other key Asian stock markets were weak on Monday as investors settled in for a few weeks of uncertainty on whether the OMICRON variant would really derail economic recoveries and the monetary policy tightening plans of some central banks. A Reuters poll of economists has found that India's economic recovery has strengthened in the July-September quarter, boosted by services activity that recovered after pandemic-related mobility restrictions were eased. The 22nd to 25th November poll of 44 economists put the median year-on-year growth forecast at 8.4% in the July-September period. The Indian economy had expanded 1.6% in the January to March quarter and 20.1% in the April to June quarter. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold prices rose 215 rupees at 47,800 rupees per 10 grams, registering a hike of 0.5%. Silver prices, on the other hand, registered a hike of 0.9% to settle at 62,581 rupees per kilo. Crude oil prices rose 3.76% to 5,381 rupees per barrel. The Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) has registered a case against a private company against Rajkot-based Manzeep Industries and its directors and partners for allegedly cheating the Union Bank of India to the tune of 44.64 crore rupees, officials said on Monday. India continues to fight COVID-19, so with the administration of 42,04,171 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has exceeded 122 crore 41 lakh as per provisional reports till 7 this morning. This has been achieved through 1 crore 26 lakh 81,072 sessions. The recovery of 9,905 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients to 3 crore 40 lakh 8,183. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 98.34%. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and the states and UTs continue the trend of less than 50,000 daily new cases being reported for 155 consecutive days now. 8,309 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active caseload presently stands at 1,03,859. The active cases presently constitute 0.30% of the country's total positive cases, which is the lowest since March last year. The testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. Last 24 hours saw a total of 7,62,268 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted over 64 crore 2 lakh cumulative tests of COVID-19. While testing capacity has been enhanced across the country, weekly positivity rate at 0.85% remains less than 1% for the last 15 days now. The daily positivity rate reported to be below 9%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 2% for the last 56 days and below 3% for 91 consecutive days now. COVID-19 cases swiftly soar across the world, with the number of cases and deaths sadly increasing. So far, the world has registered over 26 crore 18 lakh cases of COVID-19. The number of recoveries stand above 23 crore 64 lakh. More than 52,18,000 lives have been lost globally due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The USA continues to remain the worst affected nation with COVID-19, with no relief in the number of cases or deaths. The country has registered more than 4 crore 90 lakh cases of the disease, with the death toll surpassing 7,99,000. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison said that Australia will review its plans to reopen borders to skilled migrants and students from December 1st after the country reported its first few cases of the Omicron coronavirus variant. In Australia, the Northern Territory has detected its first case of the Omicron strain, but authorities say that there is no risk to the community because the man has been in quarantine since touching down in Darwin. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa said on Sunday that he was deeply disappointed with the rich Western countries for their knee-jerk imposition of travel bans after hearing about the new Omicron variant. The European Union needs to buy time to fully assess the implications of the new Omicron variant. President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said that the bloc needed to take precautionary measures to limit the impact of the new variant. Top US infectious disease official Dr. Anthony Fauci on Sunday warned that the Omicron coronavirus variant was easily transmissible and might override any existing immunity received from vaccines or prior infection. The Omicron variant of the coronavirus is probably already circulating in France, as per the French health minister, adding that the government was tightening restrictions to contain its spread. Dutch health authorities on Sunday confirmed that 13 cases of the new Omicron coronavirus variant have been found in the Netherlands among passengers that were on 2 flights from South Africa that arrived on Friday. Amid spiraling concerns over the potentially highly transmissible new COVID variant, Moderna Inc. Chief Medical Officer Paul Burton has said that he suspects the new Omicron variant may elude current vaccines, and if that is the case, a reformulated vaccine shot could be available by early next year. The National Technical Advisory Committee on COVID in Bangladesh has recommended a travel ban on countries from which cases of the new variant Omicron have been reported. A third case of the Omicron coronavirus variant has been detected in the UK. The UK Health Security Agency said that the person in the third UK case had been linked to travel in southern Africa. UK government meanwhile set out measures in response to the Omicron variant, including mandatory face masks in shops and on public transport in England. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has called the new measures for England temporary and precautionary and said that they would be renewed in 3 weeks, just before most schools break up for the Christmas holidays. 10 countries in southern Africa are now on UK's travel red list, meaning that until further notice, any British or Irish residents arriving in the UK after recently visiting any of those countries will have to quarantine in an approved hotel for 10 days. Britain's Prince Charles arrived in Barbados late on Sunday as the Caribbean nation prepares for a celebration marking the founding of a republic and the removal of the Queen as sovereign head, cutting imperial ties some 400 years after English ships first arrived in the Caribbean nation. Barbados had won independence from Britain in 1966 but has retained Queen Elizabeth as its official sovereign. She will be replaced with a Barbadian president in an inauguration ceremony to be held when the country celebrates its independence on Tuesday. A court in Myanmar is expected to deliver a verdict on ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi on Tuesday for allegedly breaching COVID-19 restrictions during a general election campaign. A vigil was held on Folkestone Beach in England on Sunday for the 27 people who died on Wednesday as they crossed the Channel from France. A 7.5 magnitude earthquake shook the remote Amazon region of northern Peru on Sunday and was felt as far as Lima in the center of the country, destroying 75 homes, but with no deaths reported. Streams of lava flowed from a new opening on PALMA'S volcano as the eruption entered its 10th week. After days of walking in their annual migration, Christmas Island female crabs arrived at the water's edge to release millions of eggs into the ocean on the island off the coast of Western Australia. France's most emblematic Christmas fair opened in Strasbourg after being cancelled last year due to COVID-19 pandemic. This year, hand sanitizers are placed side by side with hot chocolate. American and German visitors also visited France's Christmas fair, which sold traditional Christmas decorations, candles, and other holiday items. Watched by tourists and locals, thousands of monkeys in Lopburi in central Thailand feasted on 2 tons of fruits and vegetables after the town's monkey festival resumed following a 2-year hiatus caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The theme for this year's monkey festival was Wheelchair Monkeys Party. The feast, which costs over $3,000, is an annual tradition for locals to thank the monkeys for doing their part in drawing tourists to Lopburi, which is sometimes known as the Monkey Province. Dogs reigned over the waves in the Brazilian coastal city of Natal during the Surf Dog Festival. As part of the competition, dogs surfed next to their owners on paddle boards, while beginners were provided with life vests to ensure safety in the water. The first place winners of the Surf Dog Festival were Parafina and her owner, Augusto Cesar. The pair had previously won silver and bronze medals at the World Championships. Residents of the tiny Hungarian village of Wars are building the country's largest Christmas nativity scene in their Baroque church in a long tradition that has survived even communist rule. According to tradition, the nativity scene has to be ready for the first Sunday Mass of the Advent period, which was celebrated this year on November the 28th. Dinosaurs and long-extinct sea creatures lit up like giant Christmas lanterns at the Jardin des Plantes in Paris in an exhibition that is open to public from today. Paris's Jardin des Plantes exhibition, titled Evolution on the Path of Lights, is a trip back to prehistoric times. The exhibition, the third of its kind at the Jardin des Plantes, runs from November 29th to January 30th. Russia's famous ice rink in the Red Square opened for the 16th time with a colorful show on Sunday featuring 2006 Olympics winner Tatyana Navka. Russia's famous ice rink in the Red Square is expected to be open for visitors till spring, but has limitations for capacity due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Due to a built-in cooling system, the rink can still hold ice even if the temperature rises above 0 degrees Celsius. This year, the Buckwheat Flower Festival in the northern Vietnam is being held online due to the COVID-19 pandemic, with the theme Flowers on Stone. The festival's 45-minute opening ceremony was broadcast live on local TV channels. People in the city of Kannonji in western Japan have repaired a giant sand sculpture of an ancient coin. About 160 people, including city officials and volunteers, took part in the work on Sunday. The sand sculpture is based on the Kane Tusho, a coin dating back to the 17th century when Japan was ruled by the shogun, a hereditary commander-in-chief in feudal Japan. In Hong Kong, a wounded wild boar was captured in North Point, then euthanized by the Agricultural, Fisheries and Conservation Department. Police also received a report about a man being bitten by the wild boar in Aberdeen. On to some sporting action now. India and New Zealand have settled in for a draw after bad light came into play on day 5 at the Green Park Stadium in Kanpur, resuming on 4-1 and needing 284 to win. New Zealand finished on 165-9 when bad light ended play with just over 10 minutes remaining in Kanpur. Ravichandran Ashwin achieved a big milestone in his career as the 35-year-old spinner became India's third highest wicket taker in tests. With the dismissal of Tom Latham on day 5 of the first test between India and New Zealand in Kanpur, Ashwin picked up his 418th wicket, going past veteran spinner Harbhajan Singh. Defending champions Spain were knocked out of the Davis Cup finals after the Russian Tennis Federation clinched a dramatic win in Madrid. Needing victory to reach the quarterfinals, Spanish pair Feliciano Lopez and Marcel Granollers lost 4-6, 6-2, 6-4 to Andrei Rublev and Aslan Karatsev. In some sad news, Frank Williams, the founder of one of the Formula One's most successful and popular teams, passed away at the age of 79. Williams founded the Williams F1 team in 1977, which quickly turned the privateer outfit into one of the sport's best, competing and winning against some of the biggest manufacturers in motor racing. A second-half penalty saved Chelsea's blushes and they drew 1-1 with Manchester United. Sancho was able to give United the lead on 50 minutes when a Reece James free kick was half cleared. Manchester City beat West Ham United by 2-1. Manchester City midfield pair Gundogan and Fernandinho were on target as Pep Guardiola's Premier League superiority over West Ham continued. Manchester United have appointed Ralph Rangnick as their interim manager until the end of the season, subject to work visa requirements. The 63-year-old takes over from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was sacked on 21st of November following a defeat by Watford. Back home, Bengaluru FC and Kerala Blasters FC ended in a 1-1 draw. In a game of few opportunities, both the goals came from the mistakes of their opponents. Vinicius Jr. scored a stunning late winner as Real Madrid came from behind to beat Sevilla 2-1 at the Bernabeu and move 4 points clear at the top of Spanish La Liga. Borussia Dortmund top striker Erling Haaland scored on his comeback with a second-half volley as his team came from a goal down to beat VfL Wolfsburg 3-1 and stay a point behind leaders Bayern Munich. With this, Haaland became the youngest player to score 50 goals in the Bundesliga, while he scored them in the fewest games. In entertainment news coming in, Money Heist is set to premiere the second part of its 5th and final season later this week. Ahead of the premiere, the series has dropped its yet version of song Bella Ciao. Taiwanese drama The Falls won 4 awards at the Golden Horse Awards in Taipei after being nominated in 11 categories. Virgil Abloh, fashion's highest profile black designer and the creative mind behind Louis Vuitton's menswear collection, has passed away due to cancer. Broadway stars including Hamilton's Lin-Manuel Miranda turned out at New York's Times Square on Sunday to offer a musical tribute to Broadway composer and lyricist Stephen Sondheim, who died on Friday. K-pop sensation BTS played their first in-person concert since the start of the pandemic in Los Angeles. BTS member RM said being on stage again for the first time since 2019 was emotional beyond words. Legions of BTS die-hard fans have descended in Los Angeles to see their idols in person. The 7-member group will hold 4 permission to dance on stage concerts at Sophie Stadium in Los Angeles on December 1st and 2nd. Disney Plus users in Hong Kong have noticed the 12th episode of The Simpsons is conspicuously missing. It appears that the episode has suffered precisely the kind of the censorship it was written to ridicule. Walt Disney Animation's original musical adventure Encanto topped the domestic chart with a Wednesday-Sunday opening of $40.3 million, the best start of the pandemic era for an animated title. The Oscar-nominated actor and BIFA regular Riz Ahmed will be presented with the Richard Harris Award, given to an actor or actress who has contributed significantly to British films throughout their career. Canadian comedian and actor Howie Mandel has turned 65 today. Mandel has voiced the pop culture character Gizmo in the 1984 film Gremlins and the 1990 sequel Gremlins 2: The New Batch. So that's it in this edition of Express News. We will be back tomorrow same time with the top 100 news of the day. So until we meet again, you take very good care of yourself. Stay masked. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.